The two tragic shootings in El Paso, Texas and Dayton, Ohio last week led to the expected wall-to-wall coverage by much of the mainstream media. And while most of that coverage went as expected, our media analyst Steve Malzberg is here to share some of what he found to be the most disturbing. Steve, welcome back to the show.
Always good to be here, Scotty. Yeah, disturbing indeed. And let's start with the New York Times. On Tuesday, after the president had his presser and denounced the shootings and all racism, the Times front page had this headline. And it said, "Trump urges unity versus racism," which was appropriate, and it's exactly what he did. Unfortunately, the left went nuts. People like AOC and Cory Booker and even pollster Nate Silver got into the act. They said that this was outrageous. So the Times changed the headline, as you could see there on the right, assailing hate, but not guns. This was an inexcusable cave, Scotty, just inexcusable.
And Steve, even after the Times changed their headline, there was still controversy. That still did not make those that were criticizing the first time. That even infuriated some of them even more, which continued to show, sometimes can you make anybody happy? I mean, it seemed like the Times were trying to accommodate. The blame game was in full effect this week, obviously, and to a lot of times you really didn't hear about the shooter himself in a lot of the media coverage as the reason why this tragedy had happened.
Right. Well, it was all Donald Trump's fault from the beginning. The media said it, politicians said it. But particularly egregious was this remark by Nicole Wallace, who used to work for G.W. Bush. I want you to watch what she said on MSNBC.
President Obama used the power of the presidency to try to pass comprehensive immigration reform with the Latino community, Latino leaders at the table. You now have a president, as you said, talking about exterminating Latinos.
Exterminating Latinos. The president wants to exterminate Latinos. Now, she later apologized, but the damage is done. She probably apologized in a vacuum somewhere. And get a load of this. MSNBC contributor, former FBI Assistant Director Frank Figliuzzi, talking about the president. He flew the flags at half-staff, and he announced that today they would go back up on August 8th. Watch.
The numbers 8-8 are very significant in neo-Nazi and white supremacy movement. Why? Because the letter H is the 8th letter of the alphabet, and to them, the numbers 8-8 together stand for Heil Hitler.
So he's exterminating Latinos. He's arranging the half-staff and raising of the flag to signal out Heil Hitler, I guess, to white supremacists and Nazis. It just never ends, Scotty. And finally, take a look at this picture. Page 6 of the New York Post reporting that CNN, who's been criticized for not having enough minorities in prime time, they will apparently, according to the Page 6, have an all-black panel show. April Ryan, Andrew Gillum, Bakari Sellers, and Angela Rye. And get this, not surprisingly, not one Republican or conservative in that group.
I mean, Steve, I don't even know where to start with everything you've just kind of thrown out there. There's so many things. First of all, it looks like there was a stretch when you go back to actually trying to post this and make sure that just the date that President Trump is raising the flags, you got to have some sort of political tarnish on that. That's a stretch. And I've worked with most of those individuals that are named in that show. I have fought with many of them. I don't know how that show can have anything positive to say about people they don't disagree with, because they don't ever have anything positive to say. That's why it's great to be here, where we try to actually show both sides of the issue. Even if you don't agree with it at the end, we all walk away. I can't always say that I walked away from all of those folks being friends with them. Thank you so much, Steve, for following this.
My pleasure, Scotty. Thank you.
Hey YouTube, thanks for checking out our channel. We hope you enjoyed the video. We have tons of content for you just like this. For more of RT America's one-of-a-kind news and analysis, be sure to subscribe and never stop questioning more.